Hello fellow Helldivers, Thornton here, and it is wintertime in Colorado, so it's a lot more indoor activities like rock climbing. That being said, we're going to be talking about the brand new message we just deciphered, and also Thief Troopers coming to the game with a brand new update. Without further ado, let's get into it.
So Helldivers, there has been a lot going on in the last 2 days. Unfortunately, not anything big about a patch update to fix things. I think we're still about a week away from that. But we did complete the most recent major order, which was fantastic. We found out some information about Vessel 00, and it's kind of alarming on multiple different levels. One, in case you didn't see the briefing, Vessel 00 was a spaceship that actually departed from cyberspace approximately 4 years to the initial automaton attack, or when Helldivers 2 came out. Where its voyage was supposed to go for the destination is unknown, and it says that the automaton programming expressed reverence towards it. In addition, it was referred to as their seed or origin, which is pretty interesting. Along with that, there was something very interesting because what it lines up with was when this was actually launched, there was exactly this binary code that was put out by Helldivers, the game, back in 2021, which ties it to that exact date, which is kind of mind-blowing if I'm going to be perfectly honest. They've been setting this up for a very, very long time, and someone was actually able to translate what that binary means. It says, "We, the collective from Cyberstan, unanimously assert our independence from Super Earth. We have the right to defend our home from the brainwashed Helldivers. Our children, the automaton, will not suffer as we have under the oppression of Super Earth." There's a lot to break down there. Obviously, it is a message from Cyberstan, and I think it might have something to do with an automaton super weapon, which we've talked about a little bit. Ironsight's put out a leak about a planet-sized super weapon constructed by the automatons following the construction of factory worlds. This seems to be in the future, so maybe not. It's kind of all very confusing, but very interesting at the same time. And along with that, we did know that Cyberstan is deep behind enemy lines. This was actually the last part of the major order broadcast, and it says highly defended. Its liberation remains the top strategic objective on the automaton front. Current operational demands prevent its liberation in the short term, but in term it will be revealed, and the secrets of the automatons will be revealed. So everything with Cyberstan going on, what's going on with the cyborgs, the automatons, all looks like it's finally coming to a head, and it ties back way back to the first Helldivers 1 game, and they've been setting this up for a long time. Honestly, I'm really excited because this is a lot of cool lore coming in. What really gets me the most hyped about going closer to Cyberstan and also the tie-ins with Helldivers 1 is I hope they continue to bring over more stuff from Helldivers 1. We've seen a lot of stuff already, but the cyborgs in the first game had automaton-like dogs that would go ahead and protect them, which were absolutely fantastic. They had their own bosses like the siege tank, which I think would be another wonderful addition into the game. Not to mention the motorcycles as a vehicle. This one doesn't actually tie much into the automatons, but I just want one because I think it'd be really fun, and it's a really cool looking vehicle to drive around on. You know, there's a lot of cool things they can do there. There's also some holdovers that we've just been waiting for that also don't have to do with Cyberstan, like the mech that has the stratagem launcher on its shoulder. It's just stuff I'd like to see come into the game that was evident in Helldivers 1 that didn't make it over on launch on Helldivers 2, but since the game is clearly having tie and lore setups from the first game, it makes sense to see these come in at a later date. Now, along with that automaton super factory, there was some sad news in case you didn't know about it. Ironsight's put out a tweet the other day saying, "For those wondering, over the past few months, the time it takes for me to post a leak has grown exponentially. There is a multitude of reasons for this, with the main one simply being I've gone too deep. I started this out as a fun little hobby for me to learn things, and it slowly turned into long, careful dives, pulling apart systems, cross-referencing hidden logic, cataloging data that shouldn't be exposed. The level of depth has been insanely educational for me, which is great, but the deeper I went, the harder it became for me to put together a quick leak and move on. Because of that, my priorities are shifting. I'm stepping away from casually posting leaks to focus on studying OPSEC." If you don't know what OPSEC is, it's basically hacking, but in operational security. It's a very cool field, and I hope him the absolute best and that he goes ahead and achieves his goals. But what does that mean for leaks for Helldivers 2, as he was the main source? Well, even though he was the main source, there are a lot of data miners and leakers out there, and that leads us to someone that we've actually had on this channel before. He's been on live stream a couple times. He's shown us some cool stuff. Well, that is Dripku, who showed us the brand new improved Thief stratagem. This was just yesterday on October 5th, and if you're wondering why it is called the improved Thief stratagem, he says the strat was added back into the files into the just update, so it was just recently re-added, and it's completely different than before. Now, you might have seen this actually on Reddit and on a couple of different other Twitter posts where this user seemingly had a bunch of Thief troopers holding the shuttle extraction area.
They multiplied again? What the fuck? What the
What the hell is going on?
And they just seem to have no idea why it was happening. Now, I don't know if they had a way to bring them in purposefully. I mean, looks really cool and funny, but this actually ties into what Dripku was able to do with the game where it was added back in. So I think it was actually a cheater that popped them in. Again, I don't have any proof of that, but I'll go ahead and play Dripku's clip right here so you can see the gameplay, and then he gave us a ton of insight into how this is going to function coming into the game. All right, so now that you've seen how it works, there's a bunch of stuff you're going to want to know about that. One is that he let us know they should be able to use any weapon. Some, however, lead to crashes. Other weapons that need to be charged up, like the Quasar, do not work. They can't charge the weapon up, at least not in the current update that we've gotten. However, something I thought was interesting was the squad itself and the individual units can be customized. It's not an official part of the game. He's able to go into the game and manipulate it but it is a possibility that because it's doable in game, it is something we might be able to do when we call them in or set them up prior to the drop. Along with that, in current standing, there's one radio operator, an EAT guy, and 3 regular units in the drop. The name of the stratagem right now is Siege Reinforcements, which I find interesting because this was originally, if I'm remembering right, supposed to be a clan stratagem. I don't know if it's still planned to be a clan stratagem. There was no confirmation on that, but if it is, that means this is awesome because the clan might be closer than ever before. If not, well, we're still getting siege troopers, which I think is really cool. As I said, it looks like there should be about 6 units for this. At least that's what Dripku said. The actual data this stuff is defined in allows though for up to 16 units. Obviously won't happen, but as you saw in some of the gameplay clips, you can spawn a bunch of them in there. So in fact, I think the first clip that was circulating on Reddit had way more than 16 units. So maybe it does get expanded, maybe it does not. That's a good amount of information about, well, you know, the new Siege update. I think this is absolutely fantastic and something we've wanted for a very long time. One other thing I did want to go over is it was confirmed by the Arrowhead devs that when completing side objectives, destroying bases, deaths, whether or not you extract, none of that actually matters for helping on the major order, as it was confirmed by a dev. So really, if you're trying to complete a major order and do it as fast as possible, you just have to get the main mission done.
Let me know down below, guys, what are your thoughts on Helldivers 2, the Siege Troopers, and the new messages about Cyberstan. And don't forget to check out my outdoor channel in the top left corner. Until next time, everyone, thanks for stopping by. Keep spreading managed democracy.